I'm the CEO of Pricing, and today I'm here with you all to talk about another interesting topic. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the common pricing mistakes and how to avoid them. So, let's dive in. I can basically say that pricing is solely based on costs. We have learned by now that costs cannot be the only factor when setting prices. Otherwise, your prices might be, first of all, too low or high compared to the others, or it can be unprofitable and irrelevant to your marketing strategy. At this point, choosing the ideal price should be your biggest and most solid strategy because after that, the goal of maximizing revenues becomes more achievable. The path to the solution is not as hard as you think. How you can avoid these mistakes is based on some rational steps. I can basically say that there are four main steps to follow. Define competitors, define a marketing strategy, track competitor prices, and set a price that serves for your strategy. Let's start with defining your competitors, which is very important to understand the market deeply. After that, you can continue with defining a strong marketing strategy and track competitor prices. At this step, the goals of the brand, its culture, where it positions itself in the future, and its purposes are the main defining features. Identify a strategy that best reflects your business and reveal your differences and strengths. Knowing your position in the market makes it easier for you to follow your competitors. And most importantly, set a price that serves your strategy the best. Do you want to stand out on average, be more affordable, or more expensive than your competitors? It's entirely up to the strategy you have determined. Sometimes being in a compelling competitive marketplace can cause you to make mistakes that harm your business. Now, I want to mention one of the other common mistakes, which is failing to cover costs. It can be very damaging if not considered carefully at the right time. I can say that the competition on price sometimes turns into a race to the bottom. Small businesses keep lowering prices to keep up with the competition, and at some point they fail to cover their costs and literally start bleeding money. Entering the market is easy, but competing and staying alive is not at all. What I can suggest to you as a solution is, regardless of the pricing strategy you have pursued, make sure a cost-based rule is included in it. For example, my price should never be lower than my cost plus 10%. Well, as a very common knowledge, I would like to say the only thing that doesn't change is the change itself. Another mistake comes with sticking to the same price for too long. Think of it. We know that e-commerce is a fast-paced market where prices change frequently. If you stick with the same price for too long, you won't be able to test price points and improve profit margins. And as competitor prices change, you won't be able to adjust your prices to maintain your price positioning. So in this case, the solution is clear and pretty simple. You need to monitor competitor prices and adjust yours regularly. Continue testing price points for better profit margins. Let's move on to the other common pricing mistake that is related to our last example, which is rising prices instantly. Like I just mentioned, keeping prices constant is a mistake. Instant and unexpected changes are also seen as the wrong strategy though. It's a well-known fact that business costs might increase over time. When they do, sellers tend to increase all prices at once as a precaution to preserve current profit margins. But unfortunately, that often alienates customers. We must learn to walk before we run. So, what I mean is to increase prices gradually. Wait for a while, observe the changes in demand, and after making sure you are not losing sales, continue to test higher prices until you obtain the desired profit margins. In our last example, I will be talking about the mistake of pricing inconsistently with the overall marketing strategy. Here is what you need to know. You can't market a luxury bag as if it's a laptop. Let's think that you are selling consumer electronics. You target a mass audience. That means you have to offer really competitive prices. Whereas selling premium products calls for an entirely different marketing strategy. You can't entice high-end shoppers with competitive prices. You know that for a fact, you have to charge above average prices to limit the number of people buying the product so it remains as an exclusive item. So what's the solution for this? There comes your main weapon, your ability to reach your audience. You need to define your target audience and learn what entices them to buy. Develop strategies that cover your audience's needs and interests. Thus, you have no reason to not to be able to determine the most suitable price without any mistakes. Thank you for watching. We hope you got insightful and actionable tips from this video. Always remember that if you need more information about pricing, you can always check out our YouTube channel and our blog, which explains all the concepts in detail. Take care.